To everybody who's been liking the videos so far, we thank y'all. You guys liking the videos has kind of helped us start to grow the channel even more, so we appreciate it. To those who have not, please, we ask you, hit the like button before you even watch this video. It helps us grow the channel, helps people learn about us, and allows us to make more great content like this. So that's all we got. Thank you for helping us grow this channel. Hit the like button right now, and on with the show. Super duty, tough work. The crowd goes wild. You know, like the welcome to the stage, the most infamous podcast on planet Earth. Super duty, tough work. Y'all make some noise as these gentlemen come to the stage. My people, my people, my people. What's up? What up? What up? What up? Super duty, tough work. Blueprint, Illogic, as per usual.
Right.
What are we doing, folks? What are we doing? You know, edutainment. Every week, trying to help artists become more successful.
Yeah.
You know, we live this shit, so we have an insight that many people do not.
Right.
And, you know, today we're going to take a deep dive into something that not many people know about or speak about. But it's a reality of this era that we're in. You know, and it's, we want to call this episode Before You Go All In.
That's an understatement. What we about to talk about.
Some things you should know. And this discussion was brought about by an article that is on the Wall Street Journal right now. And the article is about a 21-year-old musician who's trying to make it and become a social media influencer. And we're going to read this article. And then we're going to talk about our observations about the realities, not just of this artist that they're talking about, but of any artist who is trying to go all in like him in this era. You know, there's some good things he does that's good. There's some things he does that's, you know, not so good. But we want to talk about it because we understand that, like, everyone has a dream to do this shit full time. Some people have and that's just a basic dream.
Right.
Like, to just be able to make music full time, it's kind of like, that's some people's, like, they'll settle for that. They want to be a super mega giga star though.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? And so this, you know, we just some things we think you need to know. We're not gonna tell y'all what to do. You know what I mean? You do what you do.
It's about to get really real though. It's about to get really real.
Yeah. But yeah, we're gonna read this article and go through it for everyone who hasn't read it. And it's behind Wall Street Journal's paywall. You got to be subscribed to read it. So I don't think a lot of people have read this thing yet. But you know, we're gonna read it and then we're gonna talk about it. So we'll take a break and we'll come back.
We got you stuck off the realness, the most infamous, you heard of us. Official podcast murderers, the show comes equipped with viewpoints to share. Grown man ideas for all those who care and want to grow, so go ahead and download. Every single week with a brand new episode. You're not alone in this world, cousin, so we share information and honest discussion and keep repping a culture like we supposed to. They spread gossip, but they never come close to. I can hear it inside their tone. They talk about the industry but never left their home. You get laced up with bullet points and such, plus empowering topics that they never would touch. You can put your whole network against the team, but Super Duty Tough Work's the MVP. Most valuable podcast on MP3. Priceless info, but all of it's free. So take these words home and think them through. Super Duty Tough Work is coming at you. You are now listening to Super Duty Tough Work with your host, Blueprint. Raw and uncut. Adult conversations. No shucking, no jiving, and no bullshit.
All right, folks, we are back. Blueprint, Illogic, Super Duty Tough Work. We're talking about things you should know before you go all in. And this is prompted by this article that I'm going to read. This article is titled, "A Shot at Social Media Fame lures 50 million contenders and Lorenzo Mitchell. And the subtitle is A 21-year-old musician with big dreams gave up computer science studies to co-star with a croaking frog, one in a sea of online videos vying for attention. And so the article starts like this. It says, and this is from the Wall Street Journal. Again, I'll post a link on the YouTube version of this, just so for those of you who want to kind of read it yourself and check it out, can read it or read along if you're sitting next to the computer and you're watching this on YouTube. But here's the article. Starts like this. Electronic music producer Lorenzo Mitchell dropped out of college a couple of years ago to seek his fortune through social media. So far, he's made under $70. I was a little over ambitious, said Mr. Mitchell, who is 21 years old and lives at home with his family in San Antonio. He has 52,000 followers on his TikTok account, but it is still tough to command attention. More than 1 million other TikTok accounts have around the same number, according to Tensor Social, a social media analytics firm. Of those, fewer than 100 accounts will yield a social media career lucrative enough to support someone for more than 5 years, said Sarah Peretz, who manages social media strategy for clients at a Los Angeles marketing firm. The chance at social media stardom draws bloggers, dancers, musicians, comedians, and video game streamers around the world. Venture capital firm Signal Fire estimates that more than 50 million people identify as independent content creators. Facebook Inc., TikTok, Snap Inc., and YouTube earn millions of dollars to pay creators. Yet, social media success is a lot like professional sports. Many people dream of making it to the big leagues. Few do. That hasn't stopped Mr. Mitchell and many others from trying. I have followers. I don't have the money. That's all right, he said. It'll come. Lorenzo Mitchell works on his laptop every day to create music and videos to post online. Lorenzo Mitchell at home in San Antonio. It might take a while based on TikTok's payout rate for people on the platform's exclusive creator fund. A video with 100,000 views may earn roughly $2.
Let that sink in a little bit.
People in the back need to hear that sentence again.
Let that sink in a little bit. 100,000 views, $2.
Yeah. Based on TikTok's payout rate for people on the platform's exclusive creator fund, a video with 100,000 views may earn roughly $2. TikTok, which declined to comment, offers advice and tips to creators for building an online audience. Content creators on Instagram have historically relied on sponsorship deals with brands and companies to make money. Creators earn income on YouTube from ads that run during their videos. Mr. Mitchell started making electronic music as a kid, but he didn't see it as a career until later. During his first year studying computer science at California State University, Northridge in Los Angeles, he sketched out what he called the plan. It entailed landing 50,000 Instagram followers and 200,000 YouTube subscribers by the time he was 22. He also hoped to earn $50,000 a year selling beats, musical tracks for songs or other commercial use, and from sponsorship deals tied to his YouTube videos. He started posting videos in spring 2019, but found his greatest success only this year on TikTok. On Instagram, he has a little more than 1,250 followers and fewer than 600 subscribers on his YouTube channel. These days, Mr. Mitchell spends hours at his laptop, mixing sounds and beats for electronic music tracks. He logs into TikTok and concocts ways to make his videos irresistible to his followers. In one, he hurdles over a stack of plastic cups and rolls of toilet paper that grow higher with each successful jump. In another, a computer-generated rotisserie chicken dances while he throws dollar bills at it, a play on the phrase chicken strips and strip clubs. In both, his music plays in the background. I'm just using TikTok as a way to get me from making videos in my bedroom to performing on stages and playing songs on the radio, he said. The plan is slow going. Mr. Mitchell has earned a few $100s selling electronic beats online. Not a lot, but more than he's made from online posts. He makes most of his money working part-time as a busboy at a local Italian restaurant. He came closest to a breakthrough hit earlier this year. He started posting duets on TikTok, videos of himself alongside a video that have been posted by somebody else. Imagine a split screen view. One duet featured Mr. Mitchell whistling over a video of someone playing an acoustic guitar. It collected 340,000 views. In June, he posted a duet of himself playing a beat while a frog croaked in the adjacent video. It was viewed nearly 2 million times and earned him about $25 based on the number of views. Mr. Mitchell's followers asked him to turn the musical snippet into a song. He made the beat into a full song, Frog, and spent days promoting its July release. On the big day, fans couldn't find it on Spotify or Apple Music. He said he hadn't realized the song needed to be uploaded to the music distribution site DistroKid, roughly a week in advance. I'm a little bummed out about that, but it's just an amateur mistake, and my next drop, I'll fix that, he said at the time. The song eventually uploaded and has been played more than 90,000 times on Spotify. Mr. Mitchell continues to chase his dream undaunted, he said. Joseph Mitchell, Mr. Mitchell's father, is a retired Navy man and amateur drummer. I never got down on him about not completing college, he said of his son. If the music thing is what you want to pursue, then go all in. Mr. Mitchell's mother, Karina Camacho, died from COVID-19 this month at age 52. She had been one of his biggest fans. In August, she was in a hospital on a breathing machine, unable to be interviewed for this article. I'm heartbroken. I can't do this for my son right now, she said in a text. I want to prove her right and accomplish everything I told her I would and more, Mr. Mitchell said after her death. Mr. Mitchell hit a slump after the Frog song was released, but he bounced back. One of his latest duets gathered nearly 200,000 views. He said he now plans to release 3 duets a week and post new music and daily video blogs, hoping something will go viral. Mr. Mitchell's short-term goal is simple: make enough money to quit his restaurant job, and long-term, win a Grammy, he said, for Mom. Yeah, that's the article. And we're going to take a break and we're going to come back and talk about this.
Word.
We'll be right back. This is your weekly reminder that we have 2 books that you, as a listener or watcher of this podcast, need to absolutely own. The first is The 10 Traits of Successful Hip Hop Artists, and the second is The Social Media Cheat Code. Both of these books were released within the last year. The 10 Traits of Successful Hip Hop Artists is a book where I go through the stories and explain the traits that are behind the success of some of the biggest names in hip hop today. The book has got nothing but amazing feedback. And if you are an artist, business person, whatever you do, if you would like to be inspired and would like to learn more about hip hop along the way and also see some reinforcement of the concepts that we talk about on this podcast, The 10 Traits of Successful Hip Hop is for you. Second book is The Social Media Cheat Code. That is for everyone who listens to this podcast who does not consider themselves an expert or really good at social media. It's not for super experienced people. It's actually for people who are on social media but are not getting the results you need. So what we did is I broke down like 12 or 13 strategies that I use all the time that actually work really well for me. I put it into book. I gave you examples and I tell you how to implement it. That's a book you absolutely need as a listener to this podcast, watcher of this podcast. If you're on YouTube, supporting these books actually goes a long way towards supporting the podcast. So to support the show, if you like what we do, obviously we don't necessarily get paid to do this shit. So support the products and services that we create. And these 2 books are a big part of that. We appreciate your support, and back to the show. Super duty tough work. We back.
Yeah.
I hope y'all got something out of that article we just shared. It hasn't made its rounds everywhere yet, but we wanted to share it because it's something that people need to know. And I think that this story that they're telling here does not get told enough.
Oh no, I didn't know. I didn't understand the extent of the pay scale, the pay rate. You know, like I understand YouTube a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But this whole TikTok thing, like I didn't even know that there was a pay scale with views and all of that. I didn't know that even existed, for one.
Yeah.
But to see what it is, you know what I'm saying? Like Spotify's fucked up already. You know what I mean? Like as far as, you know, you're getting less than a penny per stream, but this shit.
Yeah. They say 2 million views and $24 my man got.
Right. $25, bro. 2 million views.
Yeah. You know, you hear these stories. What it made me think as I read it was, you know, you hear these stories. Anybody who's been participant or observer of the YouTube content creator community, and even on Twitch sometimes, every year or two you hear a story about one of these content creators getting depressed, shutting everything down, saying that it ruined their life, and just kind of like throwing it all away, you know, so to speak, and just because like they have these issues.
Yeah.
And when you look at the financial prospects and you balance that with how much work they have to do to keep it up every single day, it really makes you think.
Yeah, it's real.
I see why they have depression and anxiety, and why these people are just not happy, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, because this whole thing is about consistency.
Yeah.
Being in this space and trying to do something like this, it's about the consistency. And, you know, just like us, most of these people are one-man operations. So they have to shoot the video, they have to edit the video, you know, they have to make the music that goes with the video, all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And not to mention the financial, you know, investment that they have to make to get them cameras, to get them the music equipment, like all the shit that we do and have done, you know what I'm saying? But we have something else, you know, to rest our shit on. Our shit isn't based necessarily. We didn't come up in this era.
Yes.
So we're not based on views and, you know, that shit helps us promote. We use that as a marketing tool.
Yeah.
But that's not the foundation of our income in our music careers.
Yeah. And that's a perfect segue to the first bullet point of this episode. And, you know, these are some observations we made of this article. And, you know, we want to use this to tell you, look, before you go in, you know, because this guy is all in. And there are 50 million people trying to do exactly what he's trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
Very few, maybe a couple hundred will have success. You know, this is something to think about before you go in or you go down this route. And the first point is the difference between being a content creator and being an artist. As Illogic was just saying, we are artists. We came up in a time where there was your content was your album. We now live in an era where a lot of people are more so content creators than artists. And what I mean is this: it's all about what your end goal is. For me, the end goal of all the content I create is to make people to listen to, purchase albums. You see what I'm saying? Like the album is the pinnacle of what I do, what Illogic does. We're not chasing viral moments. We're not trying to, we're ultimately always trying to get someone to go to that thing. Yeah. But content creators are different. Content creators do not have an end goal. They're not necessarily trying to push you towards an album, concerts, tickets. You see what I'm saying? Like radio, he's not doing that. And what this guy in this article is doing is so, it's so typical for many people in that space. I'm going to create all this shit and feed this machine every day. And that is who I am. I'm a content creator versus being an artist. Like we talked about, like this man had one piece of content that stuck, a song, and he didn't upload it in time.
How do you not do that?
Because he's not an artist.
Right.
Right?
He's not thinking, he didn't have all his ducks in a row
Yeah.
to understand that, even with DistroKid, it takes a little bit of time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For it to get to, the Spotify's and the Apple Musics of the world, like, you're going to have to, be on your shit, to get things up when you need them up.
Yeah. And my advice to every person out there that's listening to this, you should decide very early on who you are. Because there will be people who are successful content creators and they use this shit to springboard into a bunch of other things. But you got to understand that, like, it's two different paths.
Mm-hmm.
We are artists who happen to know how to use cameras, who learn how to stream, who learn how to podcast, who learn how to use social media. But the goal wasn't to just sit around and create social media posts, just to create them.
Right. They got links in them, bro.
Yeah.
Them posts got links.
Calls to action and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, yeah, I made a music video because I want you to buy my album.
Yep.
Because I'm trying to bring awareness to that thing over there.
Yep.
And so, but what happens is when you are a content creator, because you don't have this end game, there truly is no end to your content creation. There is no cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Like you and I create as much as when we have new projects coming out or about to come out, we create more content than ever. When we don't have new projects coming out or to promote, we create less content.
Mm-hmm.
It gives us a cycle, like a season, if you will.
Yeah.
You got basketball season, football season. We have like an album campaign season. And when the season's over, we build our skills, get it back in the gym, work on the weaknesses in our game. And then when the season starts, we do the same thing all over again.
Yep.
But content creators don't have no off season.
No. And that's the scary thing about it, is if you want to get into that space, there's no days off, especially if you're starting from scratch like this, young man has. There's no days off. Like, it took him a lot of work to get to that 50,000, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And
yes.
for him to even get to a point where it's even lucrative enough, he's going to have to hit 1 million followers at least. At least to even try to make some kind of money.
Yeah. Yeah. It's because
on a regular basis.
$70 in 2 years he's made.
Yeah. And it's not even really about the followers. It's about the people who actually watch the content.
Yeah.
Because people can follow you. If they don't click on the content, then you don't even have anything working towards you getting paid.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is a perfect segue to our number 2 point. Things that you should know before you go all in. The number 2 point we want to talk about is that you got to understand the difference between followers and supporters. You got to know the difference. Because as a creator, how you move and what you do every day is going to impact that. And if you are happy with getting followers, you will cultivate your audience in a certain way. If you want supporters, you'll cultivate them in a different way.
Yeah.
As we mentioned in the previous point, we're artists. As artists, we never let our followers lose sight of the art that we have for them.
Right.
That, yeah, this is a dope, I'm playing this beat, but I got this beat tape coming out next month.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm doing this verse, but this verse is off this record over here.
Yep.
I just got it, it's pre-selling, it's out, you can get it here. This is how you build supporters. Followers are just built through these viral moments. Anyone can build followers, but you don't know if those people are going to support you.
Right.
You just may be some novelty thing that they look at on TikTok or Instagram just to escape for a couple minutes.
Yeah.
And they never consider supporting you. And content creators are dropping the ball on this because they don't have nothing at the end for people to support them and become supporters. It's your job to cultivate supporters.
Yeah.
And there's a difference. This guy's got 50,000. I got 50,000 on Facebook, which I can barely reach. But shit, my Instagram is like 15,000 or something like that, 14,000 and 19. But shit, this dude got hella. But I make hella more money than him.
Yeah, because you have an end goal. You have you
Yeah.
have something that drives people to something. You know what I'm saying? Drives your 15,000 to something.
Yeah. And so it's not about just like the number of followers. You got to know that there's a difference. You cannot let the number of followers you have discourage you one way or the other.
Yep.
Don't let having a high number of followers fool you into thinking that they're supporters. Don't let a low number of followers discourage you from thinking that they won't support.
Yep.
Man.
Yeah. I've had a realization this week.
Mm-hmm.
Because as a lot of I stream on Facebook, stream on Twitter, and I stream on Twitch, and YouTube. Now Facebook is my largest, followership, that I have. I have about 10,000 followers on Facebook. But Facebook is the lowest engagement that I get. Even when I did a for the Celestial thing, I did a post that I boosted. It reached literally almost 100% of my followers.
Yeah.
The engagement was less than 10%, though. Less than 5%, I want to say.
Damn.
Even in posting content on there as regularly as I post on everything else, the engagement is so low on Facebook. I'm thinking about closing down my Facebook. Because it's like I'm taking the time. Luckily everything is automated, so I don't really have to do it separately. So I probably won't do that. You know what I'm saying? But like I posted something a couple days ago, just a question. Nobody responded, yo. Like I've gotten no responses in a week of a post that I posted. None.
Facebook is pretty trash for me too right now for the last year and a half.
Yeah, it's wild.
Been terrible for me.
It's wild. And for us to have as many followers as we have,
mm-hmm.
if all of those followers bought our records, dog, we'd be in a whole different tax bracket.
Oh, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Life would be very different.
If just 10% more.
Come on.
You wouldn't even need all of them.
No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't.
Like if you said just a 10%, 20% increase.
Yeah. And it's like, I understand. It's cool because I'm that way too with certain people. Like it's certain people on Instagram that, I follow for the skits that they do.
Yeah.
And they have merch and stuff. I ain't rocking their merch because I you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not into it like that, but I go to it for
you a follower, you're not a supporter.
I'm a follower. I'm not a supporter. And that's cool. I know that. You know what I'm saying? I know that and I'm cool with that. And so I understand from both sides, but as an artist and as a content creator as well, it can get very daunting and disappointing. You know what I'm saying? To know you got 10,000 followers, but it's hard for you to sell 100 copies of your album.
Yeah. Or
you know what I'm saying?
Or that they won't even see your posts.
Or they won't even see your posts.
Like that's the ill part. Like Facebook they hold your fans hostage.
Which is crazy.
Hold them hostage. Held them, it's really wild. So it's like, same thing here. So it's like you have to focus on other things. This is why I've focused a lot more on just like email in the last year than Facebook and more on Instagram. I get way better engagement there than Facebook, even with
me too.
Quarter of the followers. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it sucks. It sucks, but it's something that you have to be prepared for.
Mm-hmm.
Because even us, it's like you may see all these followers, but don't get it fucked up and think that all these people are supporting.
Yeah.
They're not. And that's the gift and the curse of this thing, that we do. The shit is not essential. You know what I'm saying? This shit is optional.
Yeah.
And people can consume it without really everything in the music industry is designed to make it, in making it easy, it makes it very easy to not pay for it.
Yeah. It's designed to make it easier for the listener, not the artist.
Yeah. Easier for them to consume, harder for you to get paid.
Yep.
And, look at even concerts,
Yep.
You got versus concerts that you can just watch on your fucking phone.
Yep.
There ain't no, you know what I'm saying? The whole, I was there, I stood in line, I went through that experience. That shit is not they done eliminated all of that.
Yeah, especially after COVID. After this COVID thing last year, like, it's a completely different process of, concerts and all of that stuff.
If it was optional before, optional. It's super optional now.
Yeah, you don't even have to leave your crib. You know what I'm saying?
But it's something to think about, So, before you go in, you should understand this. You should be asking yourself, am I more concerned with gaining followers, or am I more concerned with building supporters? And that, how you answer that question should determine how you move and what you post every fucking day. If you post, the frequency you post, what you post, how you engage with your people. Because as we've seen in the story, 52,000 followers on TikTok. He's made $70. He's not really making shit. He's still working a job, and it's crazy. So then the last point in this segment is, and this is something that we talked about earlier, thing that artists need to do is they need to think about, you need to monetize first. By monetize first, I mean this. One of the issues that these content creators have is that they get so wrapped up in the daily grind of creating content to create these viral moments and to keep people engaged that they never think, okay, once I have followers, how do I make money?
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Like, a bar can throw a free show, but they know that they got the bar and the alcohol there.
Yep.
They're going to get theirs.
Yeah, they're going to get theirs.
Oh, yeah. Illogic show, he free tonight. Damn, Illogic's free. Illogic show, I'm going. And the drinks $10 each.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't freestyling that shit.
Nah, they know what they doing.
They didn't wait till you got there to figure out, damn, how do we get some money off these fools?
Right. Right.
They ordered extra alcohol all week because they knew since you was there for free, you was probably gonna spend more on booze.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so you gotta be the same way with your career, man. You don't just get out there. You don't wait until it starts raining to buy an umbrella. You buy. Oh, I'm broke. I need money. Let me go get an umbrella. You know what I'm saying? Let me create some merchandise. Let me figure out how to. This is a situation that these content creators are in. Whereas the other side is that you create albums and then you learn how to create content around your albums, your content, whatever your main skill is. So you never have to run out there in a rainstorm to go get an umbrella because you didn't have one when it started raining.
Right. Even though you knew it was going to start raining.
You saw the forecast.
You saw the forecast.
You
saw the forecast. You knew it was going to start raining. But,
clouds everywhere.
Clouds everywhere, but you got on flip-flops. Right. You know what I'm saying? You out there with flip-flops, and no umbrella.
None.
But you knew.
You knew. You just was waiting. Oh, man, I'll just wait. I just put it off. But having that mindset of I'm gonna figure out my monetization first.
Mm-hmm.
That changes how you do everything. Remember back when we started first doing Greenhouse and Logic shit. I remember the first shows. We had opportunity to play shows before we played our first shows, and I remember I was always the ones like, nope. And it was
we ain't had no merch yet.
Exactly. This is 1999, 98. I was like, nope. They was like, Prince, why can't we play? I was like, we ain't got no tapes. We ain't got nothing to sell.
Yep.
We don't even got nothing to give away. And we did our first. We gave away shit. We had a sampler tape, a Logic sampler, and a Greenhouse sampler.
Mm-hmm.
And that was good enough for me. But I was like, we're not going to get on stage and be in front of some people and not have nothing for them to leave with. We knew, okay, we'll put a sampler and then we'll come back and release these projects and people will support if they like it. And that's what we did. Same concept. If you're an artist, figure out how you're gonna monetize first. Don't put that shit off. Don't say I'm gonna wait until I get 100,000 followers before I think about this.
Yeah, and I think the biggest issue with this dude is his end goal, it sounds like, is to be an artist. But
Yeah.
he's utilizing social media as a way to get him to a point where, okay, I got enough people watching me. Now I'm going to make the album. Instead of making the project first
Mm-hmm.
and then utilizing his talents, because it seems like dude is talented. He can,
Yeah.
he's an actual musician. He plays instruments.
Yeah.
Instead of utilizing those talents to sell something, like you want to make money, but you don't have nothing to sell. How does that make sense? You don't even got T-shirts, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like it would make more sense in a way to, all right, yo, let me at least make up some T-shirts.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So people that support me, they can support me outwardly.
Mhm.
Somebody might ask, oh, who is that? What's that on your T-shirt? You know what I'm saying? Like, at least that.
Yes.
And if you're a musician, make an EP, 4 or 5 songs, just to point people in a direction.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that kind of stuff also would have got him to a point where he wouldn't have forgot, to set things up for that frog joint. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? The one's quasi hit that he had, it would have put him in a position where he would have understood that. But yeah, if you want to make money, it doesn't make sense not to have a product.
Thank you. Hello.
How else? I don't understand that mindset.
Yeah, it's like they go in like, oh, I'm just gonna get endorsement deals and brand deals and these things that sound good, but you're waiting on someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Those aren't dependent upon just you. Getting a brand deal is dependent on the brands looking at you, seeing, oh, and then you going through this. No, you can make an album yourself,
Mm-hmm.
get paid yourself, sell it yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems like a lot of his plan for getting paid was like, okay, I'm just gonna, depend on some other shit to come through, YouTube views and TikTok payments, and 2 years later, the man made $70.
Yeah, like my youngest son, he does YouTube videos here and there and stuff. And his last video that he had, I think it's up to almost 10,000 views right now.
Yeah.
And he was like, Dad, he was like, I don't want to do another video until I have some T-shirts to sell.
You
Just
succeeded.
because he's been watching.
You succeeded as a father.
So he's been working and saving his money so he can get him a couple hundred T-shirts.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So next time it's like, all right, now everybody in the video gonna have my T-shirt on.
Hello.
Next time. And then it's gonna be a link for them to buy the fucking T-shirt. You know what I'm saying? So and I didn't tell him to do that.
Well, he's seen. He's observed what Pops is doing.
Yeah.
But see, that's the thing. If you setting the right example, you ain't got to tell your kids shit.
Right.
They gonna steal all your ideas.
Right.
You know what I mean? They gonna steal it.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So yeah, we'll take a break. We got like 3 more joints we're gonna talk about, but yeah, we'll take a break and we'll be right back.
Word.
Quick announcement. Over the last several years, we've been asked many times by the listeners of the show if we would ever open it up to the public for advertising. We've always been interested in this, but we never had the systems in place to make it work properly. I'm proud to announce that we are officially accepting advertising from the public on Super Duty Tough Work. Meaning, if you're a small business owner or an artist and you'd like to create more awareness about your product, service, or release on the Super Duty Tough Work podcast, we're now in a position to do that. For more information, email us at superdutytoughwork@weightless.net. Again, that's superdutytoughwork@weightless.net. Email us there. Tell us a little bit about who you are, what you would like to promote, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible to let you know if we think it's a good fit and what the next steps are. Thank you for your time. Back to the show. We are back, folks. Super Dute. Tough work. The name of this episode is Before You Go All In. Some things you should know. Things you should figure out. Ask yourself. And yeah, 3 more bullet points to go. It's number 4 joint we want to talk about in response to this article is that it isn't either or.
Yeah.
See, this man took an approach that it has to be either TikTok content creator or computer scientist, IT professional.
Mm-hmm.
And his parents are cool with that. He's young. As someone who's done both, I'm going to tell you, you can do both. I was working 60 hours a week while we were launching all of the shit that we did. And do you have as much time to do it when you're doing it full time? No. But it can be done. And there are many advantages of doing it that way, which we probably talked about a couple episodes ago. And we just talk about.
Yeah, there is an episode that focuses, on doing that, being an artist and working. Yeah.
Yeah, we dove very deep. One of our more popular episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, and so we ain't gonna go too much into it, but there's a lot of benefits that you can tap into by keeping that job. He would have literally been done by college by now.
Mm-hmm.
Would have still had his viral moments. Would have still done some shit like that, and then he would have had more financial freedom to be able to support his art. But somewhere along the line, I know it's not. And here's the thing too, and you and I talk about this. There are jobs that are sexy, and then there's jobs that are not. In American society, there are certain things that people just don't think are sexy. IT professional, dudes sitting behind a desk with a bunch of other antisocial, nerdy dudes.
Not sexy.
Not sexy. They don't have groupies. They're not thought to be. You have even Mark Zuckerberg's corny. Everybody looks, he's like a goddamn android or something. Bill Gates. These guys are not. They're rich, but they're not cool.
Right.
Whereas the content creators are cool, but they're not rich.
Right.
And so you have a lot of kids rushing towards the content creator space, thinking, I just want to be that, and I'll figure out the money part. And they drop the things in their life that actually could create the financial stability, and they create this either or situation. And I just don't think it has to be that. It doesn't have to be either one or the other.
And the thing is, if you have, just like we talked about in the show, if you have that financial stability, then you're in a better position to create better content.
Yes.
You have the money to invest in better cameras. You have the money to invest in more equipment. You have the money to invest in, better scenery, better lighting. But all of that stuff is a benefit of having other employment while this can still be your end goal.
Yes.
You can still say, I want to win a Grammy. I want to, create content and eventually make my living off of TikTok or whatever social media platform you choose. But if you don't have the financial means to invest in yourself, it's going to take you much longer to get there. You can't just get there on talent alone all the time.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody's not Mark Rubier.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to happen for everybody. Dude is super talented. And it just so happens because he was doing something that nobody else was really doing, that he garnered all of that, followership on YouTube and all of his social medias to a point where now he can tour. Now he can do things to where he's financially set based on his career. But I'm pretty sure this dude had a regular job.
Yes. Yes.
Probably, and I think he's a computer dude too, if I'm not mistaken. I saw, I think he's a computer guy too, and he was doing this for fun.
Yeah,
and it so happened to turn into a career. But if that's your first idea, is I'm gonna be a content creator and everything else, screw everything else, that is the wrong way to go about it. It'll take you a lot longer to be successful.
Yeah, and here's another obvious observation that is ignored by people who make this mistake, is that you're gonna work for somebody. This young man still has a job at a restaurant.
Yeah, like making pennies compared to what he could be making as an IT guy.
Doing way harder work.
Made way harder work for less money.
Standing on your feet for fucking tips. You know what I'm saying? Making $300, $400 a week, maybe. You can make triple that, quadruple that. Same 8 hours you're going to give somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, like that's the thing I think is so stupid is that he still got a job.
Yeah, like you still working, bruh.
You still working. Like, why not work for the higher pay?
Yeah.
If you gonna work.
Yeah. And then you didn't go, yeah, so I was like, you know, I don't get that. Like, if you gonna work, get the bag.
Yeah, get the bag. Like, he's a cliche.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how the actors all, were waiters.
Yes,
and,
exactly.
the famous actors, like all started out as waiters and got discovered or some shit.
I'm busting tables, but I'm really an actor. This is just some temporary shit.
Right. He's a fucking walking cliche and he's done it to himself.
Yeah, it's not either or, man. It's all the above. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that's number 4. Number 5, and this is something I think he actually has right, which is he has a great support system. Before you go all in, you need a support system. It's very difficult to do by yourself. This man he's young enough and his parents support his dream, which is dope. So you want, and he's doing the right thing. Move back in with your parents. I mean, we still think he should have kept the IT. He got at least stayed and got his degree. He only had 2 years.
Because then he really be caking, living with his parents and making IT money. Man, come on.
Yeah, killing it. Yeah. But and so it's like, but that support system is needed. If you're gonna make a move like that, you got to really look around you and say, okay, well, how many people do I have around me who can catch me if I fall? Because there's gonna be tough times, man. Like this man has put in 2 years and he's still like, he's in it for the long term.
Yeah.
He's like, it'll take time, but you got to think, okay, if it takes a long time, who in my life is going to be able to support during that time?
Mm-hmm.
For him, it was his parents. For those of you who are considering making a move, whether it's starting your own business, whether it's going full-time at art, what have you, before you go all in, really do an inventory on your support system.
Yeah. And you need to have a conversation with that support system about what your goals are and letting them know that there's going to come a time where I am going to really need to lean on you a little heavier than most of the time. If you're going to support me in this process, then, you need to know that you're definitely going to be needed, at some point. And then it's up to them to, if they're willing to take that ride with you.
Yes, it's true.
Because his parents know, like, they still got to feed this dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though he has a job, you know what I'm saying? So I'm sure he ain't out here, starving or nothing. But, they paying the bills.
Yeah.
He using a lot of electricity making these beats. You know what I'm saying? Posting these videos, all of that stuff. Like, he ain't paying that bill. Hopefully he's, he might be, giving them a little something, but he ain't paying that bill in the long run. You know what I'm saying? But they're supporting him, and that's very good, you know, to have that. You need that.
Hell yeah. So that's number 5. The last joint of the day is, if you're going to go all in, you got to think long term.
Yeah.
And by that, I don't mean just what I'm going to be doing next year. You got to be committed to know that, okay, what you're doing might not show any signs of progress for 2 years.
5 years.
5 years. Like, are you committed to that kind of journey?
Mm-hmm.
Are you committed to a long-term journey where you can't have the nice things that you want because you sacrifice so much for your craft? Where it's like, look, I really want to buy that outfit, or I want to buy that game system, or I want to buy that car, I want to buy that fucking house. Are you willing to commit that much to where you can sacrifice that shit until you get to your goal? Those questions you got to ask yourself, man. What kind of jobs are you willing to get until you can reach a goal? Like, he was willing to get a job at a restaurant. I get it. Less commitment, you know what I mean? Some probably, more flexible schedule or whatever, but it's still like, long term, you got to be with it. You got to know, or else I ain't gonna say you got to have all the answers, but you need to at least ask yourself, am I committed to making this work long term?
Yeah, and it sounds like he is.
Yes.
It sounds like even after 2 years of only making $70, he's like, I know it's gonna take time. The money will come. So the fact that he has that attitude is a great, is great for him to have that attitude. But also thinking long term, he has to know when to fold them too. You know what I'm saying? Like if you 10 years deep and you got now you got 100,000 followers and you've made $200 in 5-10 years.
Yeah.
It's time to fold them, bro. Like, get that IT job. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's thinking long term as well. You have to have a contingency plan because going all in, if you're gonna go all in, go all in. But you can't just throw caution to the wind and just not care about what if this doesn't work, because everything isn't gonna work. You have to have a plan B. That's only smart.
Yeah. I agree. And part of that is, like you're saying, your plan B, getting that job, the real job. Could be, hey, I'm just creating content and I don't have nothing for nobody to buy.
Yeah.
Maybe this content, maybe I'll switch this up and start moving towards like things for people to purchase. Take more of an artist approach than the content creator's approach. Yeah, because that requires some switching, but it's a long-term change. Figure it out. But yeah, long-term, you got to do something, man, because this shit is crazy. Reading this article was very sobering.
Yes.
I was like, holy shit, especially when they talk about the 50 million contenders.
That's just trying it. Just trying.
They say, oh yeah, you got a 1 in a million chance. What a motherfucker, you got a 1 in a 50 million chance of being a successful content creator.
And that's crazy. And that's an estimate. That's not even, you know what I'm saying? It could be 60, 70 million. You know what I'm saying? The 50 million is probably an average.
Dog, it's probably easier to get into the NBA.
Come on. NFL.
I mean, think about it. It's only 12 people on a team in high school, right? You start at high school level, 12 teams. Let's just say you got fucking 100. You know what I mean? You got a better odds. Yeah, the odds are way higher for a high school basketball player to make it to the NBA than. That's not 1 in 50 million. There ain't no fucking 50 million high school basketball players. In this country.
And the crazy thing about it is, dude just want to make $50,000 a year. He ain't trying to be like super, super rich. He like, my goal is to make $50,000 a year.
That's it.
Where I can, which he could have been making as an IT guy.
Hello.
You know what I mean? But my goal is to make $50,000 a year doing this. He ain't even saying like, I want to be freaking mega rich.
Yeah.
Even though I know everybody ultimately wants to, but he's saying he just wants $50,000 a year.
Yeah.
Imagine the work it's going to take him if he made a couple hundred in 2 years to make $50,000 a year. Well, imagine the time and the work it's going to take to get to that.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot. Take a lot, man. So yeah, that's it this week, y'all. That's it. Before you go all in, some things you need to know. I'm gonna read them back. Number 1. Decide if you want to be a content creator or an artist first. Number 2, understand the difference between followers and supporters. Number 3, figure out how to monetize first. Number 4, understand it's not either or. It's all the above. Until it becomes this thing by itself. Number 5, have a support system. Number 6, think long term. That's it for this week, man. I hope that this proves helpful, starts some dialogue, and see y'all next week.
Peace.
Thank you for listening to Super Duty Tough Work. Subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. Follow the podcast on SoundCloud. Peace.
Shoot, I got styles already that's more complex that nobody know about. I mean, super duty tough work.